Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Unboxed Live. I'm your host, Rob Gagne. I have no guests on today, but I have something that I've been sitting on for a while. It is the LifePod. Some of you know about it. It was hitting Instagram wildly. It is by Vaultek. But before I get into that, I also have a coffee pairing. I went ahead and bought some Dunkin' Donuts because I know some of our fans were like, hey, artisan coffee, hard to get. I get it. I totally understand. So Dunkin' Donuts, this is their regular medium roast. I'm testing it out right now. I'm pairing it because this last month in January, Caldwell pretty much took over the my cigar pack here. And the Long Live the King is one of my favorite cigars. This has that like kind of leathery, nutty, medium note. This would be a cigar that I would give anybody, whether you're an experienced cigar smoker or a non-experienced cigar smoker. And I think it's going to pair well with this coffee because the coffee isn't super overly bitter. Now, remember, I choose to brew through like an AeroPress or a pour over, and I brew at really low temperatures, which may or may not be your thing. So I think if you brew at higher temperatures, like through a portafilter or coffee or whatever, you're probably gonna get a little more bitterness. I get a little more of the chocolatey, creamy notes coming out of this coffee. Yeah, I'm excited to taste the cigar next to it. I think it's gonna do really, really well. And again, my cigar pack, thank you again, you guys, for giving us a bunch of these great cigars to test out with this coffee. Caldwell has always been in my top list of cigars to have inside my humidor. Anastasia is one of them that I got in this pack that I have not been able to try, that I'm really excited to try. And then the Eastern Standard came in there. This one that was Long Live the King. And then you also got this like limited edition one hit wonder that kind of came out, was part of the Lost and Found series as well. And then I got a Arturo Fuente Hemingway. So pretty good. That was the medium full pack with the red label on the top. Pretty good pack for what you pay. I don't even know what it is now. Yeah, this cigar immediately hits me just right, full of flavor, leather, creaminess, a little bit of nut, and it's not overpowering in one direction. That's why I'm super excited to see if the coffee will stay consistently just kind of medium as well. Yeah, that's a hit for me. Medium bodied coffee, medium bodied cigar. I'm kind of digging this. I'm trying to match strength with strength. I think that's the game for me right now in cigars and coffee pairings. That's kind of my game, is like match strength with strength. And I think this is going to be a good one. But without further ado, let's get into the Vaultek. Now, I'm sure if you're on Instagram, you've seen the Vaultek. I got one that I've been using for a while, but we can kind of unbox it here together. Nice display, right? Box, presentation, phenomenal. Great display. This is coming in at, it started out at $399 and it's now coming in at $350 on their website. And I think they made that switch right around like Black Friday. They made the switch, dropped it down $50, and now it's just staying there. It seems like. So for $350, you get a full, like, you can run this thing over with a car. It's waterproof. It floats, the whole nine. Although I haven't tested to see if it does float, but I think it does, because if it's airtight, there shouldn't be a single problem. But it is heavy. It's very heavy. Inside here, you also get this accessory kit, which comes with the, basically like a lanyard that you can kind of leash this thing up to, and then your keys if you ever forget your combo, which I did. I forgot my combo and the keys opened it. So thank God for that. Couldn't remember my combo for the life of me, and I finally had to reset it. But this thing slides in to, there's a part in here where it slides in, and now you can leash this to something and no one can take it away from you, or take it away from whatever it's leashed to, hopefully. So that's kind of cool. But again, $350 for a travel humidor. It is definitely high class. Let's get rid of the packaging. The one big caveat that they say about this is the Bluetooth. Where's my phone? 1 second, I gotta grab my phone. It has a Bluetooth hygrometer inside that you're supposed to be able to always check on your phone what the relative humidity is. Now, you know me, Boveda all the way. I put Boveda in everything, and that's what they also recommend. But the other thing is with the Bluetooth hygrometer in here, there is some areas where hygrometers are finicky, you guys. They're not the end all be all, and they're definitely not always right. So do not trust any digital hygrometer. Some people, the misconception out there is like an analog hygrometer is less accurate than a digital, and that's not true at all. Both hygrometers can be very inaccurate, and in fact, this one was 10 points inaccurate. But I digress. Yeah, so it's locked, right? You can hear that? Keypad, it's lighting up. Yeah, so you got to type in a code. Oh, hang on. Press the thing. Type in your code, if I remember. Okay, the green light turned on. Now it's open. Okay. Cool, yeah, Boveda packs, keeping it fresh. Here's the top piece. It has the spot for the Boveda, has a spot for like a cutter or lighter, and then 2 spots down below. We'll get into this. And then of course on the inside, here is basically this is the sensor here. This takes a battery. Then down below, the case itself takes its own battery. So there's 2 big 9-volt batteries to get this whole thing going. And then this tray just pops in and out, and it's cedar. Now it says that the tray will hold up to a 6-inch cigar. I took out a tape measure, and it will in fact hold up to a 6-inch cigar. And then in 2 spots, and then in 4 other spots, it'll hold like 6 1/4. My problem with this is that a lot of my cigars are actually bigger than this. Like if you look at like a lot of the cigars that hit the top 10, some of them are Churchills, Lanceros, long pyramids. They just don't fit. So like Padron, I smoke a lot of Padron, what's the size? Diplomatico. They don't fit in here. That's a downfall for me. And the reason they don't fit, again, is because of this big black thing up at the top. If that hygrometer was gone and you just put a Boveda Butler either in here or here, maybe you could get longer cigars in there. And then so like a new cedar tray would be needed to be made. So I don't know if whoever made this, if they were really thinking like we're trying to hit all the types of cigars out there or what. I don't know. But that's one downfall. I'd rather have a better tray, no hygrometer, because I use Boveda. I don't need to measure or make sure that these are perfect. It's airtight. Boveda is going to acclimate within 24 hours. It's just, and then if the cigar needs to absorb moisture, then it'll just take some time, but it will do it. The other thing too, like here they say there's a lighter tray right here. It's open. The only lighter that I can really get to fit is this Bic, which I think it was created for, but where's my accessory kit? All my other lighters, and cutters, like this is by Palio, by Zycar, great cutter. My one downfall to some of this stuff is when you put it in the front pocket here, that's down below, when you go to shut, it hits the metal or the black hygrometer spot, and it doesn't close all the way. And that happened a lot too with like lighters. So you kind of got to like mess around and put it in like these bottom pockets, or you need something really thin. And like not even like this is a pretty thin light or cutter. I don't know. I mean, Zycar makes, this is their Zycar XI cutter. Put that in there and that works. So it's doable. It's just sometimes your hardware isn't going to work. And that surprised me because I thought for sure, like the majority of what's out on the market would have been like piecemealed together so that your cigar smoker, your typical cigar smoker has all the tools they need. And it's not really like this big altering adjustment to your lifestyle. So a lot of lighters that I get for free, they're not going to fit up in this lighter space at all. You know, that's not happening. And then I thought, okay, that's a free lighter, not a big deal. I have really thin lighters. So I have this Prometheus really thin. That is super thin, super tiny. I was like, this is going to fit. Put it in there. There's these little plastic things down at the bottom, and I'll take this tray out, but all the cigars will go every so give me a minute. But it's these little plastic things down in here don't make any sense to me. They're like molding. They don't do anything structurally, and then they just prevent me from putting my super thin lighter. So I guess ultimately my super thin lighter could go up there, right? But they say it's a lighter tray, and I'm just still trying to grasp, like, okay, here's a Zycar lighter, pretty typical. This is standard run of your mill, like, you know, 30, 40 bucks. I thought, okay, great, that fits. No, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so fixated on this lighter spot. It just kind of blew my mind that not a ton of lighters fit in there other than a Bic. And I think, you know, the width of the Bic is the key to that, because that's essentially what they designed it for. And I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as this tray. Let me get these cigars out so they don't go everywhere, because that will be fun. I'm more worried about the cigars than I am the lighter tray, to be honest. But, all right, so we'll take the cigars out, and I'll show you. And I don't mind. I mean, even this Velcro thing is great, and it's keeping the cigars from really moving around. And really, this cedar tray is the key. Now, this is my wish, is that the cedar tray would be completely just, this whole tray would be all cedar. Get rid of this. Don't want this anymore. But you're paying $335 or $350. At that point, it's not, I mean, if you remove the technology, it's not worth the payment. You know what I mean? So maybe they would make like a less aggressive version or a different cedar tray. I think Project Carbon has a cedar tray that's just the cedar tray that he sells for like 50 bucks or something. I would totally do that. But anyways, what I was saying, the lighter spot that I think is the actual issue. If you can see up here, there's these moldings right here. And on the back, they're literally just moldings. And this is where the battery's held, inside there. So at the end of the day, it's really not needed. And I mean, ultimately what I'm going to do is like take a Dremel or something to it and just kind of cut it out. Boveda and the hygrometer comes out with, so Brad said, the hygrometer comes out with the tray. Can you just cut the hygrometer off? I mean, I suppose you could, but then this tray would move up and down. So you really need a tight fitment. And that's why I said, like, Project Carbon, he has one on his website that's just a cedar tray that literally just fits to the pod. So you could do that. But, and here's my other thing then. Okay, so the regular LifePod is like, I don't know, 150 bucks, or I think they went all the way down to like $120 on their website, or 109. So if you just bought the LifePod for let's just say 125 bucks, then you put in a $50 cedar tray, you're at 200. I'm still saving $150 by not buying something that I see a ton of value in. Now, if you see a ton of value in having the hygrometer and having it on your phone, I mean, it's a great system. And that's the other thing that costs money, right? It costs money to manage an app. I'm not knocking Vaultek at all. I'm just saying, as a cigar consumer myself, I don't see a value in it because it doesn't bring me to a better experience. I'm traveling with these cigars anyways. It's not a primary humidor. And if I really, really wanted to, I'd just throw a Boveda Butler in there and I'd be good. But to be honest, if you all are using Boveda, you don't need to worry about humidity and the hygrometer as much, because the Boveda pack is going to take care of all of that. So yeah, I mean, it's a great platform. Whoa, I'm getting an update. So humidity says, because I just opened it, 62. It was right around 69. And this is the other thing, right? I'm a geek. So I took this out and then I calibrated this, right? I threw this inside a Vaultek humidor bag, which has a really good moisture barrier, which is key. And then I put a 75% pack and it was off. And that's just all digital hygrometers are off. They're all always going to be off. I'm not knocking LifePod or anyone like that. I'm just saying this is an eye-opener for you guys. If you still think the hygrometer is telling you the right relative humidity every time, it's just not. The Vaultek pack is scientifically engineered, salt and water. You can't screw it up. Absolutely can't get it wrong. So that's why we calibrate with salt and water, because it's the most accurate test, right? 75%. We've all done it. Mix table salt in with water. The more accurate one is obviously using a Vaultek because it's precisely the right amount of water, right amount of salt. But regardless, that's what I found. This is not as accurate. And so the alarming factor to it, so you can set ranges on here, as you can see, like you can have like a dry range, which is blue, the green range, which is good, and then the red range. And then it can set an alarm just like the Vaultek Butler. I don't use it. I shut off all the notifications. So I just found myself being like, I don't see a value in that. I see a value in having like a nice waterproof humidor that is super strong. Now, if that's my MO, that's my mission, then this is it. I mean, this thing is like, this is a tank. It's heavy. It's a tank. If you flew with this, I don't know, they might want you to pull it out. That's another thing that I'm not a super big fan of. Like I travel with a medium-sized Vaultek humidor bag and I just put it in my carry-on because I never get stopped for cigars with TSA. If they stop me, it's because they're like, what is this Vaultek pack in here? They think it's some sort of gelatin, whatever. Anyways, I digress. This is heavy too. So if you're like doing the carry-on and you got to hit a certain weight amount, 50 pounds, you got to pay extra for baggage. You may or may not hit your weight requirement. For $350, it's not a value to me. I'm just going to be brutally honest. I love it. It's great technology. It's really cool, out of the box, great presentation. It's a gadget. Who doesn't love gadgets? That's in the cigar industry. I mean, it locks. You can hear it lock. You can hear it. It's so much fun. I'm not downplaying that at all. But for $350, I'm not finding all the gadgets useful. In fact, when I can't fit the right size cigar in there because of that black hygrometer spot, it kind of frustrates me because I'm like, that's the cigar I wanted to smoke. So then I just have to use a different travel case. So I don't know. I'm hoping this is helpful to some of you. I want to hear from you guys. If you have questions, comment them below now while we're doing this live. I want to answer anything I can, since you probably don't have this in front of you to play with, or if you do, let me know what you like about it. I mean, like I said, the presentation is top notch. I mean, when you show up, you whip this out and offer somebody a cigar, there is no question on that. This is top notch stuff. Brad said, I agree. I like the idea behind it, but I don't see the $350 value. I mean, yeah, like I said, let's break it down. You got a regular LifePod. You buy the $50 insert from Project Carbon, which is just a cedar tray, and you're good to go. And I love the fact that this LifePod system is so good for all of us out there who have handguns. Lock it up, especially if it's in your home with kids, obviously. But even if you have like a handgun and you're a conceal and carry type person, having this in your truck or your car is super nice. I see the value in that, but then, obviously if I have cigars in it and then I'm going to put my handgun in it, where my cigar is going to go. So it's only really useful if I'm pretty much an everyday conceal and carry type person, and I use this to lock up my gun when I'm not able to carry my gun on me. And then from there, and oh, by the way, it will only fit a gun that is max length, like 7 1/4, you know, from rail, or sometimes the magazine and the handle will come back further than the rail. So you really kind of gotta, it's a compact, you know, it's for conceal and carry type purchases or type guns. But so this, you could essentially leash this around your seat, you know, your seat bar, and that would go in, and then that just slides right in, right up here at the top. I don't know if you can really see this. It slides in to this spot, and then when you close it, it's locked. So I love that. I mean, that's cool, because now this is like, you know, handgun in my truck. No one's going to take it from me. Just the $100 there, just for the LifePod that does this, is worth it. And then if you're a cigar smoker, like I said, pick up the $50 cedar insert and you got a travel humidor as well. So that's my value add. Unboxing, cigars everywhere, humidor everywhere. I forgot to keep smoking my cigar. I got so into this review. Another question here. Rise said, I have the Pelican case, the Ruck Case R40, and convert it to a travel humidor. Exactly. You know, I mean, Pelican cases, I've been using those for a long time. Those are great. Again, another opportunity with foam. The one thing that I like about some of the new Pelican cases don't have foam. I think that's a huge win. That's a huge win here, that there's no foam inside. Had they like taken the foam that they typically use for their guns and just put, you know, the typical grooves in it for cigars, I wouldn't be as keen. But literally that cedar tray with the leather handle, the hygrometer in it, I get why it can be $350. Those are not cheap things to make. I'm just saying I don't value that hygrometer. So that is not it. I forgot my code already. Doing it upside down. So yeah, this. I think this is the whole big piece. This is the cedar tray, leather with Velcro. And again, it's not like glued on. It's actually screwed on. There's these little rubber pieces on the side that prevent the cedar tray from moving around. If you can see, there's some perforations here for the actual hygrometer to pick up moisture in the right spot. Like, this is really well thought out, and you can turn it off and on right here, so I can shut it off and it won't eat up my battery, because I'm like, hey, I'm good. I checked the humidity. I haven't opened it. It's not like I don't need it to keep reading and sending a signal to my phone, causing battery to die. But I've had this now for, I don't know, six months or so, and I don't check it often, but the battery hasn't died yet. And it tells me that the battery life, I do like that. Syncing. Every time you close out of it, though, it syncs. It's nice because you got to get an update. But on the bottom there, these two smaller circles, one says temperature and the other one says battery life. And so it's telling me my battery life is 64%, which oddly enough is the same as the humidity. And that's just a coincidence. So yeah, I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think. If you think it's valuable, if you are interested in something like this, why? If you're not interested in something like this, I want to hear that as well. I mean, we're cigar smokers for a reason. We love gadgets. This thing is stuck to my chair now. The tether's literally out. Oh, got it. Anyways, we're cigar smokers. We love gadgets. We love making our cigars look good, presentable. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that not all, and I think there's an Anastasia in here, which is, and a Hemingway. So again, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. It just doesn't fit. So the longest spot on this case, because you can barely see it, right? There's a little indent here in the center for where the latch happens. So the longest spots are on the sides. And that's almost 6 1/4 of length. Sorry guys, it's really hard to do this in a camera. It's not even close, right? Like, so there's no jamming that thing in there. It's way over. It's too much. You know, I would love to just lose the lighter space then. See that space above there, the lighter space? Just lose that and jam this thing as far up as you can so that I don't even have to deal with that. I mean, if I could literally get these I don't even know if these are considered Churchills. What is a Hemingway considered? A Hemingway, I don't know. It just says Hemingway Classic V Sun-Grown. This is a standard cigar in most humidors. And in fact, this is a really good cigar that I smoke regularly. The fact that I can't travel with it kind of annoys me. Steven, I have one, and it's more of a conversation piece than an amazing travel humidor. I totally agree with that. It does everything well, but not worth the $350. I couldn't have said it better. It does everything well. Great conversation piece. Just life. You know, this is called the LifePod. I'm really trying to just stay focused on that. It's an accessory that's supposed to increase your usage, your cigar life usage, and it lacks in certain areas. With a little bit of tweaking and a little redesign, I think it could go very far, and I think it would be valuable. Do I still think it's valuable at $350 even if they made those tweaks? I don't know. I'm more like, if you could get this below $300, that'd be a better value. You know what I mean? It's less questionable. Even like leather cases, you know, that are similar in size, those are right around $250, $150 north easily. Great presentation. This has, like Steven said, has great presentation. So I'm willing to pay for that. Certain functionality I'm missing out on. So yeah, that being said, I hope that was helpful to everyone. I wanted to showcase this because I've been messing around with it for so long, and I just haven't thought about bringing it on the show and really showcasing it to everyone else out there. But yeah, I rest my case. Essentially, it is what it is. The pun was intended, if anyone caught it. Brad said, I have the Daniel Marshall leather case, and it was $190. So yeah, leather cases right around that $200, $250. I know Project Carbon. I know Peter James. I know several other ones, Piro. They're just out there. They're great. They're wonderful leather cases with great presentation for when you show up to that cigar lounge with that buddy or business meeting or whatever. My Bourbon Journey. I have a great Cigar Star leather, Cigar Star leather case. That's incredible. Again, I'm so glad you guys are finding like great cases that are really handy for you to use. This was just one of them. Thought it was worth our attention, bringing it here, understanding what the pros and cons are. Again, suit yourself with what you see here. Make your own decision. If you're going to drop some money on a case, get what you want. You know, that's what it's all about. That's why we're here. So thank you all. Dunkin' Donuts coffee, whole beans, going with, this is the medium blend, which is like their standard blend. And I'm smoking it with the Long Live the King by Caldwell. Great cigar. Strength with strength. That's how I'm matching my coffee and cigars. So again, this was a quicker Friday Live. I thank you all for joining. Again, Friday Lives happen every Friday, noon Central Standard Time. Sometimes I bring on a guest. Sometimes I just sit down in front of you and have a one-on-one unbox it, see what it's all about, give you the inside scoop so that you know where you want to put your investment. The other thing is Box Press. We're getting more episodes up, but go back and check out some Box Press episodes. We even had Alex from My Cigar Pack tell his whole story of living in the Dominican Republic. I think it's worthwhile episode. Light a cigar, enjoy a good podcast, and thank you all for being here with us today. The engagement truly helps. Thank you all for the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great week, and we'll catch you next Friday.